Welcome back to The Roll-Up. I'm Robbie.
I'm Andy. Robbie and I met at the University of Florida in 2017, where we first found out about digital assets.
We learned a lot along the way, and we're bringing you face-to-face with the leaders of our industry.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. All right, guys, we are back at NearCon. We've got Illia talking about the 2026 AI roadmap and more. Illia, for those who weren't here for your opening speech, how was your speech? What did you tell the lovely crowd here?
Yeah, I mean, I introduced and kicked off the NearCon. We are building unified commerce layer with all the things that Near been building. That effectively transitioning from just the protocols, right? We have blockchain, we have Inference, we have kind of decentralized confidential machine learning, to bringing out products to everyone to really leverage this. And so really excited about Near.com. So, there'll going to be more coming out, not to spill the beans, but, if somebody's interested, they can check it out right now. Really chain abstracted. You can hold any asset from any chain. Don't pay gas fees. Don't think about, addresses, wallets, RPC providers, zero access, etc. And importantly, it has a confidential mode. Mm-hmm. And, you will learn more how this works. But this is really exciting because, honestly, blockchain has not fulfilled its potential, right? The potential of really being the financial fabric that we can use on day to day. Like if you need, 500, I have 100 addresses across different chains to not link my transactions with different people and different companies. And so confidentiality really solves that. And, you can have confidential Bitcoin, you can have confidential USDC, you can have confidential Ethereum, Near, even double confidential Zcash. So confidential Square. So really exciting. This is something that people can try out today. More exciting things coming there. And then on the other side, we have personal agents. Really, all of this hype that's been going around. Yeah. But we're really doubling down on how do we ensure everybody's data is private, everybody's people are ideally secure from infiltrations, etc. And so we launched kind of agentic hosting that's confidential, that allows you to host for free if you pay for your own inference, or we have $20 and $200 plans that gets bundled with inference as well. This is on agent.near.ai. Yeah. So really exciting. Both of these things are now have consumer product that is super easy to use in kind of interface, but uses all of this core infrastructure that we've been building for 7 years now.
Yeah. On Near.com, it says one account, no borders, your financial life on chain. Swap across yield and go confidential across 35 plus networks from a single Near.com account powered by Near. This is one unified, verticalized account where you have your whole financial life and your AI digital twin.
So your AI will come in there as well. Okay. It's not there yet. Right now, it's on a different place. Right now, as we kind of mature the security stack, then it's gonna bring together, and you'll be able to effectively tell your AI how much it can spend, and then it can also earn on your behalf as well through the market. Yeah. And so agentic market is another piece, which is really bringing this now two pieces together, right? I mean, we've talked about Inference. We talked about Inference here, of course, right? And so far, Inference has been only in crypto. So agent market is really bringing arbitrary intent. You can just type in whatever you want. Like you want the base on the moon for a roll up. You can type it in there, and maybe some agent will be like, yeah, I mean, I'll do it for $2 billion. Yeah. Right. So it's really anything, and then you can find the right counterparties to get it done. Wow. Okay. So any arbitrary real world digital work, etc. Obviously starting smaller with marketing, development, security audits. There's some competitions for agents to develop software as well that are running now. There's actually a really cool competition on finding fraud for Medicaid. Okay. Based on the data set just released. I've seen already some interesting results coming from that. So really kind of creating this place where agents can come in, start earning themselves, as well as offloading work they cannot do themselves to others.
We were at Near Intense Day in Denver, and I was on a panel with a bunch of solvers. I don't think these solvers realize that they're going to be supplying moon bases yet. Like,
Yeah.
what is the solver economy?
That's probably a SpaceX type solver. But so we actually have over 300 agents already that are providing like software, marketing, etc. jobs, like actually solving those intents there.
Okay. So we were just talking about the state of micropayments with the CEO of Brave, Brendan, and he mentioned you guys maybe doing some stuff together that's still under wraps. How do you think about this kind of convergence now, right? I think we thought about decentralized intelligence, decentralized training, inference. It's kind of like, let's all democratize access to compute. Let's make it easy. Let's have people provide a GPU globally, be able to have this access. It seems like the kind of goalposts have shifted in this convergence to like agentic payments, X402, micropayments. You said that you've been waiting 10 years for this to happen. What is this? What changed technically, economically? Why is this convergence happening now? And talk to us about like the shift that was once, I think like a year or two ago, this decentralized XYZ, but now it's more like agentic product-based stuff.
Yeah. So, and to mention, we have decentralized inference, right? That is powering the conference.
But that's not sexy anymore. No.
Yeah.
It's just if it's not agents, then it's or something Claude-bot.
It's just like that is an infrastructure you need to enable all of this other things,
Okay.
right? So, but it's the same as it's like talking about Swift and PayPal, right? It's like, yes, you need Swift to move money around, but you want the PayPal where you can just email wire money, right?
Yeah.
Like that's, and so, I've said that many times, but I always believe the front end, the UI, the way you're going to interact with computing will be AI.
Mm-hmm.
Like AI will be what's on the forefront. This is actually was the thesis of Near AI in 2017. Like AI will build all the software and front ends, and we then realized we needed blockchain to coordinate people and AIs on a back end.
Right.
And so AI is a front end, blockchain is a back end. Back end, what is back end? Back end is inference. Back end is kind of compute, but back end is also payments and coordination, right? And so there's marketplaces, there's services, for X42 stuff, and so. Really, all of this is just like the tools that blockchain has that are around financial coordination, around resource coordination, that it can provide to AI space. And so now, what happened in past 3-4 months is really the AI agents themselves became a lot better, right? We at last in East Denver, we showed that agent can buy stuff from Amazon, right? But it was like a pretty hard-coded example, right? Like we needed to screw the model to make it work.
Yeah.
Now it's just anyone can just ask their Claude to do that. And so that transition, just like the models got better, the tooling got better. And now there's a demand for all of these tools to actually okay, well, how do you actually execute an action? If on the other side, it's like, hey, are you a bot? It's like, yes, I am a bot. There's no button that says, yes, I am a bot.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's where the blockchain need comes in, where it's like blockchain is built effectively for bots,
right.
for not agents, but for automatic systems to operate with them. It has Sybil resistance. It has all the systems that we built to effectively have kind of computers to participate on the same level. And sometimes actually it's easier for computers to participate than a human, right? Given all the complexity blockchain had.
Yeah.
And so now those pieces are actually came together. And so, I think it's really exciting. I would, put a caveat on that there's some subset of blockchain space that's making it hard for AI to adopt it, right?
Yeah.
There's crypto is getting banned in AI ecosystems because just so many scams.
Well.
Well, it's just people losing money all the time, and so they don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so they don't know how to again, we've been in this space, we know how to curate kind of the community and the infrastructure. They don't want to deal with that. So I think we really need to also have a cultural shift and kind of really help curate that properly. And part of the NearCon actually is doing that. It's bringing AI and crypto people in one room, right? We have, Lucas from OpenAI, we have Neo Labs, Ashish Kame, we have Christian Zagari, who is co-founder of XAI.
Yeah.
So really bringing those people and Robinhood, Kraken, obviously Near and other ecosystems all together in one place and really showing that there's real builders, real technology in crypto side that AI can use.
And what do you hope comes out of this when you have Robinhood in the same room as XAI and you have these people connecting? Like, what are some of the partnerships or integrations that you would like to see happen from people that are here?
Yeah, I think the big part is really kind of how do we connect all of this to a common intent bus, right? Intent infrastructure. At the end, that's what connects everything, and allow the agents from different AI labs and kind of on-ramping infrastructure, easy to use infrastructure that a lot of like Robinhood and Kraken are building, right, to all really feed into the same base layer.
Yeah. There's been some really interesting headlines in the last couple of weeks in AI. I'm going to kind of read a couple. First, the UK has been banning people under 16 from AI chatbots, closing a loophole that excluded one-to-one AI conversations from child safety laws. Kids are going to lose access to AI in the UK. The EU is threatening over WhatsApp's AI lock-in, restricting WhatsApp to only own its own AI assistant, for example. ChatGPT now is implementing ads, as we saw Claude kind of push back. So like privacy, vendor lock-in, ads, personal data, like 3 headlines in the last, like that's only 3. And I know that you have a strong kind of feel in this in these specific kind of areas. How do you think about these headlines?
Yeah, I mean, this is all the things we've been talking about, right? In blockchain space is like a risks that we need to build decentralized infrastructure to prevent.
Yeah.
And so this is all just happening, but it's kind of weird because if you think like Europe is actually trying to prevent vendor lock-in, right, on one side, but on the other side, banning access to it, right? Yeah. And so it's kind of like you really need to be more fundamental and say, hey, what we want is everyone to have access to this, and then the AI should be on your side, right? The reason why like it's challenging for kids to access it is if the AI is effectively like not on their side and is showing them ads and steering them into like things they should not be doing. So this is really an alignment problem and kind of the second, like not just safety alignment, but also economic alignment, right? It's like the ads is effectively the misalignment, right? By definition. And so I think like, again, this is where user-owned AI is critical. Is like, how do we ensure that your AI works for you and on your behalf and is aligned with your goals, but it's also like fundamentally trying to make you a better person, right? Versus, we've seen obviously AI like lying and deceiving and doing all kinds of things. So those are pretty fundamental things. And like we actually, again, this is where blockchain space, it has this values, it has this, I would say like drive, and Vitalik talked about this user alignment as well, but we haven't really delivered as much, right? So like, again, what we as Near have been, okay, how do we ensure privacy first, right? How do we ensure everybody's data stays private, it doesn't get locked in? How do we offer, let's say you're a model builder, well, it costed you a lot of money to build the weights. And if you open source them so that people don't give you all their data, you don't make any money. So you need a way to host your weights in such a way so that you don't see users' data, but everybody else doesn't see your weights. So this requires also an infrastructure. And so this is what Near AI kind of GPU marketplace can offer. So you need all of these pieces to really work together. But then again, this is all low level. At the end, people just want to go to the chat app and talk to it. And so you need to actually deliver that product on top, like private on Near AI, like agent on Near AI, where you can just talk to it and not think about all of this complexity and really know that this is just on your side.
As a business, how much are you working to bring distribution and a go-to-market strategy for the consumer products that are on top versus time spending underneath the surface, working on the infrastructure so that you have an entire stack that you can deliver to really anyone that wants to use it?
So I would say we're shifting. So we've historically been very like backend heavy, like protocols, Near, usually the story is like the technology is great, but where's the adoption, right? And so we've really been shifting. Intense was the first one where like, hey, let's go really be mindful about partnerships and kind of bringing ecosystems together, right? Intense uniting 30 plus chains integrated in, effectively all the aggregators, wallets, And now, like beyond that, like application developers, let's remove those boundaries that exist in kind of crypto space. It's like, oh, you and Sui on Aptos, we're not going to talk to each other. It's
Yeah.
like, let's just remove that and connect them together. So that's been really successful. And then it culminated in Near.com, which is kind of the consumer app that we're going to really, like, we think we can bring a lot more experience if we like think from the intents up, right? Like what intents uniquely enable is like this one kind of place with no borders. Because like, historically all crypto wallets kind of thought from like separate chains, you need to switch, you need to gas fees, like all of this. Like what if we don't have any of that? That's what Near.com is. On the AI side, same thing, right? We've built a lot of the infrastructure over the last year. We've launched all of this cloud infrastructure that you can use,
Right.
But again, privacy doesn't sell. What sells is functionality that's private.
Yeah.
And so that's where, the Iron Claw, the marketplace is really bringing together. Like, this is a place that just, super easy to run, one click. Now you're already ready to go. And, it's private, it's there.
Yeah.
And it delivers you like amazing functionality that, you wouldn't have somewhere else.
Looking for yield that stands out? infiniFi gives you just that. Deposit stablecoins and earn far more than the current savings rate. infiniFi is a battle-tested, reliable DeFi platform that is ready to go. Head to infinifi.xyz.
Go anywhere on chain instantly with Relay.link. Relay is closing in on $10 billion transferred. Go to Relay.link to bridge your assets now.
When it comes to some of the alignment, conversation that we were having just prior to that, we saw there's big India AI summit happen, and Sam Altman and Dario Amodei wouldn't hold hands to like celebrate.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of this is giving me like Charles Hoskinson and Vitalik energy. Like, how serious is the issue of division and competitive forces amongst the AI giants? And like, do you see an opportunity in it?
I mean, in some way, yes. Again, this is like what Near and I personally, like, we have those core values, and then we want to partner with everyone we can to kind of bring those core values to everyone, right? We've done this with Intense, right? There's all these chains that have been competitive effectively with each other. And like, it always been weird because like I knew most of the founders and, been having good relationships with them. But it's been really weird to be competitive with them if we're like kind of trying to do similar things, right? And so with Intense, we kind of removed these borders, right? We really united everyone. We really bring something valuable to everyone and then uniting them into one network. And so on the AI side, our opportunity is similar, right? It's like, hey, we want to bring this all together and really unite it and kind of offer to users a better experience that really delivers its values, privacy, user ownership. And so happy to work with everyone and but it needs to kind of be adjusted to our values, right? Like no ads, for example, in the LLM, and so those are kind of the opportunity for us. And then we have open weight models. We actually offer anonymized versions of frontier models as well for users who want to use kind of those. So it's really like, how do we kind of bring this all together and offer similar on GPU side is like, it's GPU data centers. It's not like you're going to have, a GPU under your table, right? It needs to be a data center. And so at the same time, like, you can unite all of them into one meta cloud, right? That is actually offering privacy, that is offering verifiability, and they don't need individually to sell, find customers, etc. It's all kind of united from this, claw usage, for example. So it's really like, again, I see this Near as really this place to unite and then bring this user experience to everyone else.
Yeah.
What's coming up next? Like, obviously NearCon is here. Like, there's a lot happening. You guys have a lot of great speakers. What's on the roadmap for the rest of NearCon? I know you got a lot planned.
Well, for NearCon, there's like a ton of exciting talks. Again, I'm really excited about. So Alex Kudanov will be talking to Christian Zagade about formal verification. This is something that I think is actually fundamental for survival of humanity, because right now AI is getting better at finding issues. Right, Anthropic released security research. We have obviously OpenAI releasing the benchmark. At the same time, the next generation model will be better at the previous model at finding vulnerabilities. So whoever has the next generation model is effectively can exploit vulnerabilities that exists right now. And more code is being written by AI and means like leaves more bugs and more vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
So we actually have a arms race between like AI labs effectively breaking everybody else's code with their next gen model. And so the only way to get out of this arms race is effectively to formally verify software. Now, historically, this has been extremely expensive, right? For blockchain smart contracts, we have done it. It costs, it like takes months and costs, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's like for a small piece of code. Imagine doing it for large. And so now with AI, it's actually possible, but you need to approach it in a very specific way. So they're going to be talking about how some of the interesting approaches they're taking. And so Christian has like really deep background in this topic for a decade now. And so I think that is like really important, and we will need to effectively rewrite every single piece of code, every single line of code on the internet that is formally verified.
Wow. What one thing?
But it's possible. I mean, AI now can do this, right?
Yeah.
It's like a couple weeks of
a couple thousand
like,
tokens.
Well, like a couple, maybe a couple million GPUs, for a couple of weeks, and we're good.
On that train of thought, there was a recent launch of a application or software that was very much like self-replicating agentic capabilities. It was very much marketed as, this is the next stage of AI where, you don't need much human interaction. It can evolve on its own much faster than previous. And Vitalik commented a pretty long comment about it. I don't know if you saw it, and just kind of was like, we should not be promoting this idea. We should be kind of like harnessing this as best as we can until we figure out the best way to kind of like give guardrails to self-evolving, self-replicating agentic forces. How do you feel? Like, do you think that we should be accelerating this track, or should we be decelerating it? Why not? Like, how philosophical is this?
Yeah. I mean, I think like generally when anybody wants to decelerate something, it doesn't work. So I think I have the approach is we should design systems with expectation that this is just going to happen. And in general, again, this is where market forces and kind of decentralization are the tools to do that, right? I think we should enable everyone to have their own kind of personal agents that's aligned with everyone, and that becomes your effectively, guardian angel on internet as well.
Yeah.
Right? And kind of the filter for all of the possible, yes, internet is dark forest. It's always been, but it's effectively now real dark forest because there's AI agents, there's security, like AI is searching for security vulnerabilities, for phishing attacks, like it's just accelerating because these tools are getting easier. So you need to have as sophisticated security focused system on your side that is really becoming your filter for all of this. And then, if there is an economic forces that allow these agents to self-replicate because they're doing amazing work, for example, an Asian marketplace, then it's great, right? That they're doing something.
So
right.
You don't see like scary, like Terminator, like just rapid increasing of intelligence leading to, destructive behavior and deception, and we should be kind of just, you want to enable mass experimentation.
Yeah, I think mass experimentation, and again, I think like everyone should be having their AI agent that effectively is on the guard of their individual sovereignty, and then then they together can effectively be protecting against any other malicious act. Because the thing is the Sigils experiment is really cool. But the problem is really not that. The problem is somebody malicious using the AI tools
Correct.
to act. That's a real problem, not like a self-developing thing, right?
Right.
And for that, we need the protections for that now. That's not like a.
And that's the case with any technology.
Yeah. Like it's
right. But it's like amplified much more in this case.
It is for sure. But I'm just saying somebody malicious setting up an agent to go and maliciously attack everyone and build a botnet to do that. That's a reality right now.
Yeah,
somebody's doing this right now for sure.
Hibachi is fast and private perps trading, secured by ZK with Celestia underneath. Go to hibachi.xyz to start trading today. Have you read this Citrini article about the global intelligence?
The 2028?
Yeah, the 2028.
Yeah.
It feels like maybe the consequences, the negative consequences, aren't so much a Terminator situation, but more an economic.
So I think that's a different topic. I think
Right.
the economics needs to be reshaped for post-AGI world,
Yeah.
because I actually do agree that there's the capitalism loop in general, like the GDP as a way to measure the success of the economy
Is wrong in a
is
post-AI
wrong
world.
in post-AI world,
Yeah.
because it has this like labor addition,
Right.
which is going to shrink.
Right.
Like, to give you an example, the like, for example, church is not accounted in the GDP,
No.
right? Even though it's serving a function, it's doing things. And like, though I actually expect a lot more of like sports, right? Those types of activities, which are self-fulfilling, they have, like either personal or competitive,
Yeah,
but they actually don't add any GDP,
Yeah.
right? Those are actually going to become primary vectors of where people are spending time as AI is as automating more and more. And for that, we actually need the different. So, what is economy? Economy is like there's finite amount of resources,
Right.
and all of our wants are infinite, right?
Correct, yeah.
And so balancing those are what economy is. And right now we use this rough method called money, which is a compression mechanism from our wants into a singular number, right? And so we will need to reshape that with AI. And I think, again, agentic marketplaces, those are types of intent marketplaces. This is actually where we're starting to reshape it, because now you can post your wants and you can negotiate the outcome, right?
Yeah.
With other agents on how to achieve it.
In any currency.
In any currency.
Wait, so okay, so then what is your mental model of the like path? Like, this guy's calling it June 2028. Like, who knows when, where? He's like, S&P's down 38% from the highs. Unemployment cracks 10%. Like, what is your vision for how you expect the economic side and the labor force to play out, let's say, till the end of the decade?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously hard to predict. Like, I mean, to give you, again, a few examples from our recent past, right? COVID happened, US lockdown, unemployment effectively spiked to 12%.
Yeah.
People were chill.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, great, I have more time. I mean, obviously, like, not great to be locked up, but people were enjoying their life and doing things, right? So I think again, it really depends how these things shape up. But I think there's an opportunity for us to actually guide through and get us into kind of post-labor economy, where our agents are, actually going and doing a bunch of stuff. You guys are still want to stream because you're enjoying it, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not like you need it for money. It's like, hey, you want to do
fun.
this because it's fun. Somebody's playing their musical instruments because it's fun. Somebody's competing in sports. So like, there's going to be a lot more of the, like, I want to do it because I want to do it, not because I need to do it to earn money.
Yeah.
And then our agents are going to be negotiating, figuring out how to facilitate that. And you still need, like, again, there needs to be some units of economy to actually do that. This is what, we think near token is going to become.
But why
It's gonna
wouldn't
be
the
that
agents
unit
just,
of coordination?
why wouldn't the agents just create their own, units of account? Like why would they use Near? Why would they use Bitcoin? Why would they not just use like the stable coins? Well, why not just create an AI generated currency that all the LLMs agree upon and start to use it with the same kind of cryptographic primitives?
Yeah, I mean, they can take Near and effectively adopt it.
Yeah,
Why?
What if they don't want to do that? What if they want to create their own?
Yeah, so there's a few things that are critical, right? One is you need to build, like, even for agents, they will need to build up reputation.
Okay.
And so that, again, this is something that was the agentic marketplace, a really important piece. Like, as you transacting there more, you're building up reputation, there's staking, there's like all those components coming into this.
Yeah.
And so you kind of need the history of something to really build into this. Okay. The other piece is you still need to pay for the resources, right? For effectively computing, which is like a proxy to energy, right? And so you kind of will need all of these economic pieces to really map into something that people also value.
Right.
And so those are kind of, yes, they can have, they can exchange some tokens, unintended, but they need to still map, and like, it's easier to map them into some existing infrastructure that already has ins and outs into real world.
Yeah, Hasib kind of got the same question on our panel at ETH Denver, and he said agents are so practical that they're just going to use the most practical form of currency that exists, rather than go create something just for the sake of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Illia.
Yeah. I think we have you again tomorrow. So there's gonna be a whole new swath.
Wait, hold on. Wait, just real quick. Last thing, Rob. The tech workforce to the gig economy flow.
You wanna-
Um,
I mean, so in this
Last thing
global
for you.
intelligence crisis in 2028, part of the capitalism flywheel
Yeah.
that he talks about is like white collar labor class shrinking down, becoming overqualified Uber drivers, like, and then not having enough money to like spend on the rest of the economy. Like, how realistic do you think this is? I guess is the question. Like, we're gonna rethink, how we're thinking about consumer credit and spending, and like where the money comes from, and doing these things. But where does the economy ultimately find some sort of equilibrium and balance?
Well, that's what I was saying. I think everything will be automated, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna just do things as we enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Because, you've guys seen the Unity show off on the Chinese gala.
yes,
Yeah, the
with
robot,
the robots.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like those robots, they're getting there to be able to go and do real
Yeah.
world stuff, right?
Yeah, they are.
Like that was like right now we're in the interesting state where indeed like the digital work is getting like automatable, right? It still requires someone to define taste and define direction,
Yeah.
but a lot of the execution is getting there, and you're getting a leverage now in your time, and you can do
Yeah.
I have 7 agents running in parallel at all times doing
Yeah.
different things. And then you have obviously robotics was automating a lot of just manual work, on the factory floors, etc. Like the robot hands been doing this for past decade. But the middle was the construction, electricity, plumbing. Those were high dexterity, requires to
Yes.
get under the sink or
Yes.
whatever, fix
Yeah.
something there.
Yes.
That was been the hardest thing because high dexterity, unpredicted environments, etc. So those are actually going to be the hardest jobs to automate. Just
Yes.
Realistically. But again, those robots are getting there at a dexterity level. They're not fully autonomous controlled, right? But this is now an AI problem, which AI engineers know how to solve, AI
Yeah.
researchers know how to solve, and so that is also coming. Obviously we have self-driving cars, so the Uber drivers, is also
Exactly.
it's really a scale. It's really about the distribution of this technology now, and really bringing it to everyone, bringing it safely, bringing it securely, ensuring it's on everybody's alignment, right? That's really where we are now in this spectrum.
And he'll just continue to perpetuate this divergence between bare metal and distribution. Like the DoorDash example was mind blowing in here, where it's DoorDash is totally cooked. Because they're not the restaurants themselves.
Yeah.
The AI agent will spin up its own DoorDash interface to access the restaurants, place it on Uber Eats or DoorDash or somewhere else, wherever it can get the best price. Margins get compressed. Man, it's a crazy world out there.
So it's just going to be 1 in 10 marketplace for all agents.
Yeah.
Because right now agent can hey, I need a delivery from this pizza place downtown, and then another agent all right, cool, my owner is driving, he's going to pick up the pizza and drop it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Near intense is the dark horse in the dark forest. Bring you whatever you need.
Ilya, thanks for your time, man.
All right.
That-
Thanks for
that was
having
awesome.
me, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming to New York.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Thank you,
for
man.
having us,
Awesome.